Good Monday morning. It's Monday, July 16th, and it's time once again for Chuck's Coaching Corner. This week our training involves something that actually started with me many years ago at a training that I went to that was provided by Jim Rohn, one of my all-time favorite mentors. And Jim, in this training, it was kind of a personal development thing, but he talked about the word tips, T-I-P-S, tips. And we all know tips is tipping the waitress or the waiter or the concierge person, or like a bonus for somebody that's done something really well for us. But Jim had something very interesting that day at that seminar that I attended, and he basically said that tips stood for to ensure prompt service. So TIPS stood for to ensure prompt service. And what Jim's method of operation was, and it worked so brilliantly, was that he always tipped in advance to get the better service from the waiter or waitress. So anytime he went into a restaurant, he tipped them at the commencement of the communication and before ordering and all those kind of things. And so he was always ensured prompt service. And I got thinking about that, and one of the sales process that has worked so successfully for me and others is to turn that just a little bit, spin that a little bit, and we call tips, and we phrase it this way, to ensure prompt sales. So TIPS is to ensure prompt sales. Now, in this regard, I have a lot of different ideas to share with you, but I'm just going to give you one today. And to ensure prompt sales, one of the easiest things that you can do upon first contact with a client, be it on the phone or be it live face-to-face, to ensure prompt sales is to make sure to communicate and automatically follow up with that person immediately upon that point of first contact. Again, by phone or by live face-to-face meeting has no bearing. Let me show you exactly what I do. What I do is I send a book, and I use two books. Here they are right here. And if it's a non-sales related person, I always send the Jim Rohn Treasury of Quote books right here. I've sent thousands of these through the years. Now, if it's a sales-related person, I use my own personal book right here, and this is the Sales Mastery Book of Quotes, and these are all the quotes out of my 2-day Sales Mastery seminar that I do with the 13 chapters. So again, non-sales-related person gets this Jim Rohn book, a sales-related person gets my own personal Sales Mastery Book of Quotes. Now, there's some interesting things that I do with the book, first of all, and that is when you open the inside cover, there's a dedication page here. So I just write the person's name to and from, and then I might even put a little message, or you could also put a label of your company or other additional marketing information, because right here, all these books get passed along to other people. So if your information's in there, it gets passed along, so some great viral marketing that you could consider. A couple other things that I'll do is maybe put a Starbucks gift card, a small photograph. I always include my main point card, and you guys all obviously get to be in my office, and all my tools are right here real close to what I call the command center. But I'll put in one of my main point cards that fits very easily right into the book. And the other thing is, just anything that might be of interest. Here's a tea bag, so put that tea bag in there. Boom, it goes in there. And another thing is that I've done, and I always get a lot of great response out of this, but right back here I just keep some single dollar bills, and many times I'll actually take those and cut these up with scissors, and so when they open the card, guess what? The dollar bills and the shredded dollar bills fall right out of the card. Now, the other thing too is, if you like the dollar bill idea, you can actually buy shredded money from the government or online from various sources that have been approved by the government to sell shredded money. So you can always put those in there. So it's a great idea to add something into the book. So that's kind of a cool idea there for you. The other thing that I do is I always have the envelopes, and again, that's a key. You got to have the envelopes at your office. And here are my stamps. I always use, again, I don't want to use all the boring stamps that y'all, like the flag. No disrespect for the flag, but I always want to use something creative. So like lately, Star Wars is kind of a cool thing and some cool stamps to use, but I always use different stamps when sending out my mail pieces. Another thing too, colorful envelopes would also help you. Like lately I've done some direct mailing pieces, and I've used these, I guess you could call that lime green, but in the fishing industry they call that chartreuse. So you could use those different color things. The other idea that I do when I send these books out is that I never put a return address, and I always handwrite them out with the handwritten message. But I would never put a return label on there, and I never use a postage meter. The reason is because it looks much more personalized, obviously, and when they don't see a return address, guess what? They will always open my piece first. Now, the other thing that I'll do is, depending on the person, is I'll put actually stickers on the envelope. Like here's some right here. These are like motivational stickers, and you can get these at any like craft store or maybe toy stores for kids. Look out for some of these kind of things. But right here, and I keep a full drawer of stickers. And just, I don't know if you can see in here. Yeah, you can see in here. But there's hundreds and hundreds of stickers that I can go to put something on the outside of the envelope. I mean, look at all these right here, from Spider-Man to dogs to cats to airplanes to motivational themes, all sorts of fun stuff that's on there. So I can dress that envelope up a little bit differently. Now, the reason why I do that is I want to be distinctive. I want to stand out above everybody else in my industry and make people stand up and take notice. Now, there's one last key here that I'm going to give you before we conclude this week's video training. And this is the most important. But the day, the moment, the minute that you have met that new person is you've got to fill that card out and put all that stuff together, and then you've got to take it directly to the post office. And when you get it to the post office, you want to walk into the closest point of delivery and put that mail piece in so it goes out that day. Not tomorrow, not 5 days later, not a week later. Don't procrastinate. You've got to get that mail piece in the mail that day. You know what? You only have one chance in a lifetime to create a positive first impression. You can never recreate that moment in time with that person. So make that positive first impression a powerful one, an impactful one. Don't sit there a week later and go, I wish I would have done that. Because if you have, you've procrastinated and you've lost. So the biggest key to the books or a gift that you put in with a thank you card or that correspondence, and having a fancy stamp or having different stickers you can put on or different color envelopes, that's all fine and great. But the fact of the matter is you have got to get it to the post office that day. In many cases, especially here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, if we send it today, it will be to the client's office by tomorrow. So we like that. I remember this one company that I did some consulting for, actually called Asa Able Hospitality in Richardson, Texas. They do a lot of the electronic locks across the country. But I met one of their senior vice presidents one day who was actually getting on a plane to fly back to Sweden, where their corporate headquarters were. And you know what? I took this little book, put it in an envelope, and I think it was $29 to overnight it to Sweden. And he actually got it just about at the same time that he landed. It was delivered to his office. So it really, again, top of mind awareness. They totally knew about it, and he was very impressed with the fact of the effort that I made. Now, in closing, let me just say this, is that my Treasury Quote books, very inexpensive. In most cases, it's $2 a book, but if you buy it in other quantities, you can get it for less than that. The Jim Rohn book right here, if you call Jim's office, he'll probably tell you that I've probably bought, in the last 20, 25 years, I probably bought at least 1,000, 1,500, maybe even 2,000 of these books. But in the article that is corresponding with this week's training, that information, including an 800 number to Jim's office to buy this book, is there. So, don't do yourself a disservice. Oh, I'm going to buy one book and check it out first. No way. Don't do that. You're just avoiding doing what you need to do follow-up with your clients. Go get 100 of these and get committed to getting those out as soon as possible. So anyway, again, let me just review. Read the article that's attached to the video this week. Remember, the most important thing is to take the mail to the post office and hand walk it in. Don't put it off in some mail bin somewhere, but get it out that day. So with that, I hope this information has made a positive impact on you, that it gives you one extra little sales advantage. It gives you some sales distinctions that will set you apart from your competitors, and more importantly, make your clients remember who you are, think about you, do business with you, and also give you a variety of referrals. So with that, Godspeed, good selling. We'll see you next week. Take care.